Hello, I'm Afani Victor Ngando and welcome to Kinsmen Advocates Law Firm YouTube channel. If it's the first time you're watching our channel, please subscribe, like, and turn on the notification bell so you can receive more content. Today, we'll focus on the procedure of child adoption in Cameroon. Now, the dream of every couple is for them to have children of their own. However, there may be some biological concerns that might prevent couples or individuals from having children of their own. In this slide, our topic of discussion today will guide us on the legal procedure to engage in order to have a successful and recognized child adoption process in Cameroon. First, we'll focus on the documentations from the child to be adopted. Secondly, from the adoptive parent or parents. And thirdly, from the biological parents. And thereafter, we'll touch on some frequently asked questions by most of our clients when it concerns child adoption. And lastly, we'll touch on some frequently asked questions when it concerns child adoption. To begin with, it's very important that potential adoptive parents should brief a family attorney. The role of the family attorney is to guide in compilation of all the documents that will be required for the child adoption process. To begin with, the following documents are needed for a child adoption process. Documents from the child include the birth certificate of the child. It's very important to ascertain the age of the child because in Cameroon, only children can be adopted. A child above 18 years or 18 and above is an adult and can't be adopted. So the birth certificate acts as an evidence to establish or show before the law court that the child in question is still a minor. Now, from the biological parents of the child, we're going to need what they call an irrevocable consent or a consent from the biological parents of the child. Now, it's so much important because it's good for the biological parents to show that they have given their consent for their child to be adopted. This document must be prepared by a notary public and signed by the biological parents with the identification card attached to it. Now, it's normal now in Cameroon for there to be single parents or children that people have out of wedlock. In this case, either of the surviving or known parent can give consent. Our focus will be on the documentation from the adoptive parent. That is, those who want to adopt. You can adopt as a couple or you adopt as a single parent or an individual. The very first thing we need from you is a copy of your identification documents. You must be identified by the law court before they will treat your application for adoption seriously. Secondly, you must present a copy of a clean bill of health from a recognized medical institution. Now, the clean bill of health is aimed at establishing that you have a clean health and you'll be there to take care of the child when the child is being adopted. Thirdly, you must provide your financial statement, which is very important because no court will grant an adoption process without evidence that you have the means to take care of the child. Now, it's also very important that the non-conviction certificate or non-crime certificate, depending on the jurisdiction that you're coming from, should be made available. This is to further convince the court that you have no criminal records. Furthermore, it is important to show that you have a house of your own, or at least you're renting a property, or you have a lease agreement, or a house ownership property, to show that you can accommodate this child if the court grants an adoption decision in your favor. Now, it's very important for all these documents to be put in place because the role of the family attorney is to do a proper presentation of your case in court. Now, at the end of all this, the adoption documents will be prepared, the adoption documents will be filed, and the case will be assigned to court, and the family attorney will present and justify why adoption should be granted to you. Now, it's very important to also know that an adoption process can be commenced even if the adoptive parent is not in Cameroon. So you can be in the US or in the UK or anywhere in Europe, but you want to adopt a child from your family lineage. Maybe your sister's child, maybe your brother's child. You don't need to fly down to Cameroon and spend all the time. The law has made it very flexible for the process to be commenced in your absence. And at the end, an adoption certificate will be issued to you. A full adoption judgment will be delivered to you. And you can use the papers to immigrate with the child anywhere in the world. Now, the original birth certificate of the child must be submitted in court. And that is because at the end of the adoption process, behind the birth certificate, the registrar-in-chief is going to typewrite or imprint the fact that this child now have a new adoptive parent. Now, some of the frequently asked questions by our clients when it touches on adoptions are, for example, the child will turn 15 years or 16 or 17 next year. Can the process still be done? Yes. A child is anyone who is below 18 years under Cameroon law. So an adoption can be done provided the child has not attained the age of maturity. Also, questions like, I want to adopt but I can't be in Cameroon. I think I've touched that in my discussion. The law has made it flexible for the process to commence and conclude it, even in your absence. All you need to do is to brief a proper family attorney to guide you through the process. Also, there are questions like, the purpose of this adoption is to immigrate with this child abroad. Is that possible? And the answer is yes, provided you go through the legally acceptable means of adoption. And the following documents will be given to you at the end: a court judgment, evaluating the entire file and finding credible and worthy to grant the adoption, and the adoption certificate. And finally, the name of the adoptive parents must be inscribed behind the original birth certificate of the child. If these documents are available, no embassy anywhere in the world will refuse a grant for you to immigrate with your adoptive child anywhere in the world. Now, in case you have any other question touching on this subject, considering how crucial it is, please comment below, and I assure you we'll be there to address all your concerns. Thank you so much for watching, and please look forward to our new videos.